So some of you have reached out and said, Mike, what happened to that live stream yesterday? Well, I rewatched it and I saw that the video quality was terrible. You guys deserve better than that, so I took it down. But I just wanted to reiterate a couple things, that this conservative culture war needed to happen, is long overdue, and to try to ignore it in the sake of for the sake of unity is, I think, a mistake. I think there was a lot of hypocrisy that needed to be called out and exposed, and I'm glad that it is. It's like now it's the elephant in the room. So anybody ignoring it or trying to label it as, well, we're the normal ones and these are trolls, these are infiltrators, they're homophobes, they're racist, they're xenophobic, they're far right, they're alt right. These are the tactics used by the left, the tar and feather slanderous language used to try and avoid debate. That's what it really is. When you see Charlie Kirk on stage and Rob Smith and really anybody from Turning Point, anybody from the mainstream conservative Inc., you see them deflect, you see them use ad hominem attacks, you see them try and undermine anyone who has legitimate, valid questions. Like, someone gets up there and asks a question that maybe you don't agree with. Okay, fine. It does you no justice, and it's a bad look, quite frankly, to just label them a troll or an infiltrator. Like, what is it about their question that makes them a troll, right? So it's bad look to see mainstream conservatives, the ones with the most power, I guess, not really power, but the ones with the biggest social media presence, try to, slander people who are further right from them. I would say, why not have a conversation? And another thing I want to point out, and this goes for both sides of this, the Nick Fuentes and people who support him, and then the Charlie Kirks and the Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, corporate conservatives. Neither side is a gatekeeper, right? So why are you trying to keep people out of a movement, right? It doesn't matter who the person is. You don't get to decide what their personal values are. Like, who are you to say if someone's conservative or not? That's not for you to decide. They decide for themselves what they are. Now, one thing that I've noticed, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it, is we have a tendency to kind of conflate the MAGA movement with conservatism when that's not true, right? You think about Trump's election. Donald Trump flipped 3 blue states, which were heavily Democratic. There's thousands, if not millions, of people who are actually liberals or registered Democrats who voted for Trump, but they probably wouldn't identify themselves as conservative. But they still support Trump because they don't support the insanity and the lunacy of the left, if that makes sense. So yes, if you support Donald Trump, that does not make you a conservative, right? Donald Trump himself is not really a true conservative. He has conservative values, but a lot of people would call him more of a business Democrat or a classical liberal, right? So this whole idea that if you support Trump, you have to be a conservative, and you can be a MAGA supporter, you have to agree with this, this, and this. Here's your checklist of things that you can support and agree with, and if you don't, we're going to call you names and you can't debate, or whatever. That stuff is lame, man. It's like, you have to be able to see the difference between MAGA and conservative, right? There are a lot of conservatives who do not support Trump, believe it or not. But there are people more than that, whether you're liberal or conservative. If you believe in the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, then you might be a MAGA supporter, right? I've been saying this for a while. Like, 2 things can be true at the same time. You can actually dislike Trump and still see that he's the best option to vote for in 2020 over the Democrats. That's not hard to see, right? It's the easiest way, I think, to get past this little rift. Now, as far as just conservatives, who gets to decide who's really in the conservative movement or not? Who is it? Is it Charlie Kirk? Is it Nick Fuentes? Is it me? Is it anybody? I would say it's nobody. So I just wanted to reiterate on that. But you guys know how I feel about Turning Point. I told you my take on it. I'm not here to try to drag Charlie Kirk or Rob Smith or anybody. I just think it's very interesting that some conservatives have come out in defense of Turning Point, which I don't really get that. Unless you're on the payroll, I really don't understand how you can defend and try to contort the situation to make it seem like that wasn't a bad look for them. I think it was actually good. It was good because it forced them to take a stand on some things. Like, Charlie Kirk, how do you feel about immigration? Okay, so then let's talk about that. Are you truly a conservative? Do you really need to be the face of what you call the conservative movement? It's like, not trying to play gatekeeper, but I'm just saying, like, do you really represent conservative values? A lot of conservative values. It's not like you can't be a part of this, which I disagree with someone saying that. But again, it's like, who gets to decide? So I just wanted to let that seep in a little bit. You know, again, it's a continuation of the video I made yesterday. It was a live stream. The quality was so terrible. I had no idea. One of the problems with going live is you don't know what the quality of the stream is like, and so when it's pixelated and it cuts you off and stuff, you don't want to leave it up. It's just a bad look. So anyway, guys, if you are curious about the status of my dog, I appreciate so many of you that have reached out. You can follow me on my backup channel. It's Magnificent813. You can type that in to the search bar and that should pop up, but it's also in the description. So sub to that backup channel because I'll be uploading probably 1 to 2 videos per day on there, just so I can track his progress. It's going to be good for me as a pet owner to see his, you know, videos of him after he's no longer with me. But with any luck, and with nature's help, right, and some prayers and support, that will be many years from now. So anyway, God bless you guys. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Follow me on social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just type in Magnificent813. I should pop right up. And where is he at? Nino. We'll catch you guys in the next video.